Hi, welcome. My name is Marlene. So, I've been playing with a lot of Question Beauty recently, and I had one more main product to play with, and that is the palette. This is the Chapter 1, The Legend of Land and Sea. Now, this one took a little warming up to because initially I didn't really think the color story really suited me when I had it right in my hands. I was deciding between this and the chapter 2 palette, and I ended up going with this one because I really liked the baby blue color and I thought this one looked really cool. Same with this one here. And when I finally got it in front of me and I started playing with it, I did do 2 looks before this. It felt a little pastel-y and Eastery, and I was having a hard time making it more me. Me being, I like things to be a little more moody and darker and a little bit more this. So I finally was able to get this, but it did take a little playing with this palette. I'm glad I kept at it though, because I'm very happy with this look. And I really love that I was able to find a way to make these colors work for me. Now, I think the reason I was fighting this one so much was because the way I work with eyeshadow palettes, or the way I look at them, is I like to rely on just one palette for all my colors for my look. And I was having a hard time combining these colors and not having them end up look very not me. And you'll probably hear me complain about that a lot, but I finally got them to work for me, and going forward I'm not going to limit myself to just using this palette alone to create looks, but that's just kind of how I like to work with palettes when I first get them, is what kind of looks can I do using just the palette alone. As you can see, it has been very well loved already. They are releasing a new palette on November 1st, so I'm interested to see what that color story is. But I really enjoyed this formula enough that I want to go ahead and pick up the chapter 2. And if the chapter 3 is just as beautiful, I would love to pick that one up later along the way. But let's get on to this look and a little bit of my trial and error, and then I will see you at the end with my final thoughts on the Question Beauty products that I have worked with so far. So I've been playing with a lot of Question Beauty products recently, and this is the last thing that I have to review and show you. I do have one more mascara, and I did get one of the glitter mascaras to work, so that's exciting. But let's talk about the palette first. Now, I have been enjoying playing with this palette. It does have a plastic removable cover that is held on by little magnets here. Has little magnets on each side. Now let me read you a little bit about this palette. It says the story begins here. The Legend of Land and Sea is the first chapter in a collectible series, a limited edition palette designed for those who see makeup as more than just color, but as an adventure. Inside you'll find 10 ultra-pigmented shades, including 5 mesmerizing metallic and multichrome pressed pigments that shift and shimmer like sunlight on the ocean. The payoff, rich blendable color that transforms with every angle. Now, the multichrome shades are this one here and this one here. The metallic ones, I'm assuming would be these two, and then this 5th shade up here, very just like it's a white shade, but it's more of like a balmy consistency. And we'll talk more about the consistencies in these shades, but let me finish off what it says about the palette. It says that the packaging is just as special. The lid illustration, based on a painting by a New Zealand artist, captures the meeting of land and sea in breathtaking detail. But there's a twist. The lid is fully removable and doubling as a sleek mixing palette. Whether you're layering pigments or blending custom shades, it's designed to make artistry effortless. I have not been using this as a mixing palette. I do enjoy having the flippable mirror just so I don't have to hold too many things or have too many things in front of me. Right now I have a little mirror in front and it's just kind of in the way, so I really enjoy having that mirror attached to it, but that's just nitpicking. Now, another thing that I do have to say that's kind of like a negative with this is I think I picked the wrong color story. I think the second color story would have been more me, and that's just a preference thing. Like I said, that's just on me. I should have picked the second color story because I do like kind of darker, more moody colors, and I feel like this one is very happy and airy, and I feel like it kind of can look a little Eastery or like pastel-y. So that's just a preference thing. Like the baby blue, I love this baby blue shadow, by the way. Do not get my words twisted. I love this baby blue eyeshadow, but in combination with the other colors, it's a little too happy for me. I like moody, and that's just my fault for not thinking this over. Another thing too is I feel like there's too much turquoise in the multichromes. This one straight on is kind of like a turquoise color, but also shifts to like a blue and a purpley color. This one is kind of like a green gold shift, but it too also shifts to a turquoise color. So these are both very turquoise leaning, and I feel like it's very limiting for me with the looks that it can create. Yeah, but other than that, I love the baby blue color. This one I thought was going to be a little difficult to work with. I was like, is it going to show up? Is it not going to be opaque enough? Is it going to look a little dusty? But no, these matte shades are very buttery. The only one I had issues with is this brown one, but that could just be user error. I felt like it was a lot drier than the other colors. These two multichromes are very silky, very delicious. I'm going to swatch these out for you in a bit. This balm type consistency, I'll just do this one right now, just so you can see. I know these don't stay on my eyelids very well. It is kind of like wet and balmy. That's the best way I can describe it. I do have these little singles that I got off of C Beauty Mall. I think the brand is called Cheerup. It's the same thing where it's like a very wet balm consistency, and they kind of got everywhere and spread everywhere. You can see it's kind of like a very similar finish. This is the one off of the Question Beauty palette, and then this is the one from the Cheerup. Just going to compare these two side by side so you can see the consistency in them. And if you're familiar with Mob Beauty, the suspended sparkle bombs, it's kind of similar to this texture. So that one I'm not a fan of because I know they don't stay very long on my eyelids because of the hood here. But these are okay for like little highlight details like up here on the brow or in the inner corners. But as you can tell here on my fingers, the Question Beauty formula adhered to my skin a lot better than that Cheerup formula that I was showing you. So it does have a little bit more staying power, but it's just not my favorite style formula to play with. Now let me show you the multi-chrome ones. This is this one here, and then this one here in the corner. So these two guys. These are so freaking smooth. Let's see if I can get a little bit of light on there. Yeah, the formula on these is beautiful. Like I said, I just should have picked different colors. I was trying to see if I can get that turquoise to show up on this green one. It's kind of showing there next to my light. It's a little difficult to capture on camera, but you can kind of see a little bit of that turquoise in that green one. Now the metallic ones, this gold one and this kind of lavender, almost periwinkle color, these two shades are a little bit more textured. The glitter or shimmer particles on them are a little chunkier, but they still lay very nicely on the eyelids. I really liked these two. I think out of all of the special shades, these two are my favorites. Especially that gold one. That gold one is freaking beautiful. And I'm sure I would like using these colors, but like with a different palette. Like this like periwinkle one, I just don't like it with the other shades in the palette. I love these colors on their own. I just don't like them together as a color story. I usually think of palettes as like, how do I like this palette on its own to create looks? And that's kind of how I was thinking about how I don't like these colors together. But if I use these colors with a different palette, I think I would really enjoy them. Now, the mattes, I particularly really like this baby blue one and this pale yellow one. You do need to layer them up a lot to get like a really good payoff, but they layer up very nicely. It's very easy to build these up. That's just like one quick swipe, and that's them built up a little. They look a little chalky on here on the hand, but they're totally not. I was afraid of that at first, but they went on the eyelid very nicely. Now there's this lime green, and this one is kind of like a navy blue, but it also has like a little bit of purple in it. These ones are really nice too. This one's like a little bit difficult to work with because I just kind of I don't know, I feel like it doesn't suit my complexion. Like I said, that's just personal taste. But this yellow neon one was really easy to work with. That's one really quick swipe, but these build up, like I said, very, very easily and very nicely. And then the one I had a little bit more difficulty using was this brown one. I just feel like it's kind of more on the like greenish brown. So same thing, it's just like a preference thing. I didn't really like it with my skin tone. And then it was a little bit more, I don't know, it emphasized the texture on my eyelids, like where the pores where my eyebrows grow out of, it just kind of like dug into it. So it was just kind of not as pleasant to work with for me personally, but it is also a little bit more drier than these ones. Then those are these shades. Like I said, it just kind of doesn't feel cohesive to me to use a standalone palette for a look. It just doesn't feel harmonious. So we're gonna go ahead and primer the eyelids. So I've already given these two shades a little bit of love. I have not used this on the full eyelid yet, and same with this one, I haven't used this completely on my full eyelid. Let's do two different looks. I'm gonna try to give this brown shade another try. I'm gonna put it on my entire eyelid here, and then I'm going to put the gold one in the middle. But let's give this brown one another try. But I just really don't particularly like the tone of this brown. For me, it just looks a little, you know, I can't really point it out. It looks kind of dirty. Now, as you can see, these are very easy to build up. No, I think that's bad on me for building it up too much. I think I darkened it up a little bit too much there. Or maybe that was me just trying to blend it out too much, making it really muddy. I'm gonna bring some of that warmth back in because it just looks too dark now. Do forgive me, I have only been playing with makeup for a year, so all of my opinions and perspectives are coming from someone who's only been playing with makeup for not too long, but nonetheless I still think they're very, very valid because not everyone is at the same skill level. So if it's easy enough for somebody with not much experience to pick up and to not make it look like a complete disaster, I think that still has its own value. But yeah, let's go in with the gold and see if we can salvage this. I think the contrast of the brown with the gold will look really, really pretty. Now this gold is very easy for me to work with. It's kind of almost fail proof, and I think it would be almost fail proof for anybody too. But let's do a quick swipe of the baby blue on the other side, and then we'll pair it up with this guy. But these kind of just don't really go good together. I'm thinking like that with that one looks kind of too girly. That one with the green color here would not work out. This with the gold would look very, very beautiful. We already used that one up and I haven't yet to use this color, so we're gonna have to pair those up. Maybe it would have been better to pair the brown one with this one, but I still feel like those don't really go all that well together. So let's pick up the baby blue on this side. And there is that beautiful baby blue color. I am in love with this baby blue. Now another thing I have noticed is that maybe my primer is a little bit too sticky for these shadows. I feel like maybe a more drier primer would work better with these shadows. This is just like on observation right now and from playing with it the amount of times that I have. This is my go-to primer for all of my other eyeshadows, particularly with the Bella Beauté Bar formula. I really love these two in conjunction, but I have noticed that with my Blend Bunny shadows, it kind of does a little bit of like that dark muddiness here. Maybe next time I will try these with a different primer, something a little lighter, or maybe without primer. Maybe I powder my eyelids beforehand and then see how these shadows perform with that. But if you have any recommendations for eyeshadow primers, I'm open to trying things. I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I find something that works or that I like and I stick with it. I have been curious about the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion thing, but I'm sure there are much better things than that. So if there are any recommendations that you do have, please let me know. And same if you have any tricks for making this brown eyeshadow work, I would love to hear them. Maybe I'm packing them on too harsh and maybe I just need to lightly dust them on. It's all a learning curve and I'm open to any input. Let's do this one on top of the baby blue eyeshadow, but I really love the way this one looks like. It's so freaking pretty. It's so pretty. There are some of these multi-chrome shadows that are a lot easier to pick up by finger and apply onto the eyelid with the finger. I find like these pick up really nicely with the brush and they apply a lot more opaque with a brush. So that's also another difference that I've noticed with this formula versus the other formulas that I'm used to. Yeah, out of all the special shades, I really enjoy this gold color. It's so freaking beautiful. Let's do a little bit of this one, just to see what it looks like. Oof. Just want to show you what these colors look and then we'll do a serious look. And then that is that periwinkle looking color. See, that one's very translucent. It's a very sheer base. This one, I see green, I see like a periwinkle, I see a lavender. The color that I don't really like in this one is that green shift. The green shift in this is what I don't particularly like in this specific shade. I think this one would be really pretty as a highlighter. I did use this gold one as a highlighter earlier too. And then there's the green one. Just gonna put that right here. Let's look at the gold on its own. And the turquoise shade on its own. While we're here, let's see what that blue purpley matte looks like. See, I feel like I need a dry base because I feel like with the oils of my skin, it gets very dark and muddy. There is this buttery yellow shade. I also really enjoy this one. This one's very similar in texture to the baby blue one. And then that neon green. And that is the brown. Like I said, I think it's really picking up a lot of the oils. So let me wash this off and then we will do a serious look. But I just kind of wanted you to see what some of these colors look like on their own. Alright, face is clean. I have a little bit of translucent powder. This is the Mob Beauty one. I'm gonna dust my eyelids. I put lotion on my face, but I did not put anything on my eyelids. But I do get very greasy eyelids. Alright, eyes are powdered. I probably did a little bit more than I should have, but I really want to give these a fair shot and I don't want my lack of expertise to mess with the products and their intended appearance on the eyes. I'm gonna try this blue one. I don't think I've given it its fair bit of love. And I want to see if it looks less muddy. I'm gonna apply it lightly at first, just to see what it does. See, this is why I use primers. Because it picks up all the little pores and textures on my eyelids. So we might have to take this off again. Yeah, I don't much like that. Yeah, I'm gonna take this off and we'll just go back to primer. Let me see if I have a different type of primer that I can use. This is my first time applying eyeshadows on my bare eyelids and I do not like the appearance of that. I do have this little Anastasia Pro pencil I have yet to use. This formula does seem a lot drier than the Sigma primer. In fact, it sounds a little too dry for my eyelids, but let's give this one a shot. How the heck do you draw this on? It's like so freaking crunchy and hard. Oh, this is terrible. I would not recommend this one. Like, who wants to willingly scratch the crap out of their eyelids? Not me. That's going back to the store. Back to the tried and true Sigma eye primer. Okay, giving blue another try. Okay, that looks a lot less disgusting. This is such a pretty color sheared out. I think this happening right here is just because of how much I have been washing and wiping off my eyelids. I don't fault the eyeshadow for that, just fault my eye prep. Should we give the brown shadow another try? I think we should. Let's start at the crease. I feel like someone's probably shouting right now that like color theory and like these two colors should not be laid next to each other because they'll muddy each other up and they'll turn green, which is kind of what I'm seeing, but we learn by doing here. I don't think that's too terrible. And I think I'm getting that darker, moodier look that I usually go for. Then I'm going to put gold in the middle because I really, really love this one. Haven't been able to feel the same about all the other colors just yet.
Drop in the ocean, just a face in a crowd waiting to be seen. Big dreams set in motion. I wanna go where no one's ever been. I would climb the highest mountain.
So what are my final thoughts with Question Beauty? I'm glad I took the time to work with some of the formulas that initially didn't work at first, and I eventually got things to work for me. The palette, while it may not be my color story, I still really enjoy the formula. The mattes are really nice to work with. These two, I have decided it was just user error on my part and improper skin prep. And I really, really love these metallic formulas. The periwinkle one here and this gold one. I love those two. And the multi-chromes, I'm really pleasantly surprised how easy they are to pick up with the brush and apply directly to the eyelid. I'm so used to putting them on with my finger because that's the only way that I get them to pick up, but these were very easy to pick up with the brush. The only one that I don't really love is this balm-like formula. It's just not my favorite type of formula to work with, and I'm very much looking forward to hopefully one day getting the chapter 2 and maybe the chapter 3 if the color story is there. I have yet to play with the liquid mixing medium, but the gel primer and the black base primer have been very nice to work with, and I love the finish that they leave. And it's gotten me to get excited about different ways to play with my eyeshadows and the products that I do have. And I would 1000% recommend these if you are very creatively prone and like to find different ways to play with your makeup products. I would really recommend these, especially, like I said, the way they make loose pigments look on the eyelids. It's beautiful, and it's such a beautiful finish, and I've been really enjoying those. Now, as for the pigments, I only got to play with these two, the Dark Flame and the Nebula Blush. I still have yet to play with these two. If you would like to see these on clear primer or black primer, let me know and I'll do that. This one was a free one, the Rose Blush. Mascaras. I had a little bit of difficulty getting the Black Diamond Mascara to show up on my eyelids. I used it on its own. I still found that it was very difficult to get the right angle to look at the sparkles. Like, it was just too much. Like, I was just shoving my face in the camera like, is it there? Is it there? I'm sure it shows up in like certain lighting, but it just wasn't showing up like how I wanted it to. So yeah, this is the Black Diamond one. It's not as liquidy as I would want it to, and then I just didn't find the sparkles to really come through. But this one in Rose Sorbet, I did get this one to show up on my eyelashes. This one actually showed up. It's kind of like this pinky shimmery color. Just the sparkles on this is just a lot more impactful than the Black Diamond Mascara. The Desert Sunset Mascara, this one was also not really showing up on my eyelashes, and I feel like after I had worn it for a little while, the color just kind of like disappeared. So that one was not great, but I'm glad I didn't just completely give up on these mascaras because I'm currently wearing this purple one, and I love the way that this purple mascara looks on my eyelashes. It is so freaking gorgeous. It didn't like lengthen or volumize or any of that stuff, but it did do a decent job at somewhat defining my eyelashes and then giving them that nice purple color. I really love this one. So I guess it's kind of like hit or miss with the mascaras. The highlighter, I have one highlighter. It's called Dewy Petal. This one is okay. I'm not like over the moon blown away by it, but it's a decent highlighter. I'm not wearing any highlighter right now, so let's just tap that on. But it is very subtle. It's not chalky like some highlighters can be. But like I said, it wasn't like, oh my goodness, wow. But it's a decent highlighter, and it looks nice, and like I said, I like that it's not chalky. It just didn't like blow my socks off. The lip glosses, I would love to try out more of the colored ones, but this Black Hollow one, I did have issues getting the glitter particles to show up, like same as the Black Diamond Mascara. I had to find certain lighting to get the glitter to actually show up. Just like as you can see there, straight on, it just looks like a normal black lip gloss. When it's in the correct lighting, it is beautiful. I'm sure if you were out in the sun, you would for sure see the beautiful glitters that are in it. That beautiful holographic effect. Like I said, straight on, it looks like a normal black lip gloss. But even though it's not what I expected, I do think it's a really cool lip gloss to have that option of having it look kind of like a sleek, low-key kind of look, but when you step into the right lighting, it's like, whoa, what are you wearing? And then this one was just straight off the bat, after initial application, all this gorgeousness. And then on top of that, the formula on these lip glosses is so moisturizing, so comfortable, so nice. I was wearing it after filming the video and I didn't even notice I still had it on. I was getting ready to eat and then I took a bite out of some bread and I was like, whoa, what's that? You're wearing lip gloss, dummy. That's how comfortable it was. Like, I didn't even remember that I had it on. As for the eyeshadows, I have no creasing issues with them. Same with the primers and the loose pigments. They don't crease, and like I've stated many times, I love the finish that the primers with the loose pigments leave on my eyelids. It's not heavy, it's not textured, it doesn't crunch, it doesn't crinkle. I love it. But yes, I'm very happy with my purchase. If you have been curious about Question Beauty, I recommend you check them out. I think you would be pleasantly surprised with some of their products. Like I said, just be wary with the mascara. They might take a little bit more work than expected. And yeah, I think that's only the really kind of dud that I had was some of the mascaras didn't quite work out, but a couple of the other colors in the same mascara formula worked out. So that's the only one that I would be kind of wary about recommending. The loose pigments, they have so many to choose from and they're a lot of fun to play with. And there are infinite possibilities on how you can wear them. You can use them as highlighters, you can put them on your lips, you can use them as eyeliners, you can use the mixers to make your own shimmer mascaras out of them. So many possibilities. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope to see you in another video and I hope you take care. Bye.
Yeah. See the potential, instant, influential. Maybe controversial, maybe in another life it's mental. Maybe in this one sentimental, no, not accidental. Whoa, but you come back tenfold, go. Like dripping in gold beam, dripping in gold beam, dripping in gold beam, dripping in gold beam, dripping in gold beam. Oh. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. When we step through, that's gold. Anything we touch, it turns gold. Far too much, don't worry about nothing. Far too much, better let that go. Yeah, when we step through, touch road. Anything we touch, it turns gold. Far too much, the MC life, but far too much, better let that go. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Okay, listen now. Shiny, expensive, list goes on extensive. That energy is dead, it's defensive. Them little weak flows, nah, not effective. Gold plated, it's protected, manifested, well respected. Eyes like jewels, how can we test it? Nah, we didn't do it like the rest did, nah. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Gold bar standards, that's the best thing. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. Yeah. See the potential, instant, influential. Maybe controversial, maybe in another life it's mental. Or maybe in this one sentimental, no, not accidental. Whoa, but you come back tenfold, go. Like dripping in gold, be bold. Mode. Dripping in gold, be bold. Be bold. Be bold. Yeah, dripping in gold, be. Hold your standards, that's the best thing. 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 Yeah. See the potential, instant, influential.